You're such an asshole.
Alright, I think if I do 3 a day, I'll be able to do it. Hey, so returning customer here. This is going to be a long email, so please bear with me. I need your advice on how to move forward with my life given all the information. Profile: I'm Chinese-Canadian, male in his early 20s. I follow your core advice, which includes focusing on getting a useful degree, keeping the campus dude bro lifestyle in moderation, paying off my student loan as well as my credit card in full. As of now, I basically have no debt, and I will have close to $20,000 in liquid assets soon. I have a full-time accounting job and another part-time job, working an average 60 hours a week, making around $59,000 a year. That should be around $1,000 a week after taxes and deductions, despite living in a province like Ontario. In addition, I also manage my parents' rental properties, from which I get a portion of the income. I wouldn't consider myself a workaholic, though, as I still socialize with friends on the weekends. Yeah, plus when you're that age, I mean, now's the time to bust your ass off if you're going to do it, because you have the energy. I know I could never do 8 hours again. However, good or bad as that may sound on paper, I hold a heavy weight in my heart due to my personality and how I grew up. My family was poor when we came to Canada, I think you mean, but we lived within our means and invested long enough to achieve rental income sources. Despite everything, my parents ingrained in me to live minimalistically without compromise the first and second levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Needs to be satisfied with room for nice clothes here and there. I remember the times where my breakfast was just soup-based, where we couldn't even afford to buy fruit from the store, and have lived in mold and vermin-ridden dwellings. So I am more than grateful how we got to make it this far. Maybe they shouldn't just have kids. You know, if like this has nothing to do, well, that's first world standards of living, everybody. You don't understand. No, I understand that if you have kids you can't afford, then you got to worry about soup-based food. You don't even need kids you can't afford. It's already hard enough. Fucking Christ, loading up tea, free tea with sugar packets, loading up, having basic sugar water because it was a meal. I've always been inquisitive by nature. I've always been inquisitive by nature. I've never turned down a lesson either from the failures or successes of others. From my findings on channels and online communities, I don't see a bright political future for the West. As the leftists get more unhinged every year, coupled with a family law system that drives fathers from control over their families. Again, they don't control you if you don't have a family. It is a sick cycle with each contributing to the other's growth, putting together all of what I said above. My goal is to get off the hamster wheel and enjoy the decline, going my own way. My core problem starts here. I am too inquisitive to a point where I constantly worry about whether the decisions I made in life will lead to the best outcome. For example, if I don't hustle and get my CPA and work experience quickly enough, I fear being replaced by automation. Well, that is going to happen. You go with CPA or go home. You got to get your CPA. On the flip side, I don't take time to travel the world and enjoy myself. I fear growing into an old man who wish he hasn't spent more time at the office on his deathbed. Everything is simplified into not being able to avoid to have fun while I'm young without being broke when I am old. On top of everything, I feel a duty to take care of my family members, especially becoming a role model for my younger brother and other descendants from my extended family. You're going to have to take that up with the Department of Asian Families, all right? You probably understand my position is that your children owe you shit. They owe you absolutely nothing, especially if they did not give you anything in return. Now, I understand they may have been trying to escape from a dictatorial country. I don't know if you're from China or somebody from some Asian country. Could be Vietnam. They could have been getting you out of there. And then in that case, I think you do owe them. But if they were doing rather well in, say, Singapore or the Philippines or whatever, and then they come here, and then they had the kids that they couldn't afford, well, then I don't think you really owe them anything. I'm going to assume it's the previous, and that your life is better here in Canada than it is back at home. But even then, I would still say maybe you help them out, but you're in a Western nation now. Right? That's what Social Security, or in your case, your social pension in Canada is for. You were paying the tax. And your folks, over the course of the 20 years, should have been squirreling away some money. If anything, your old man, they should know enough that they got to take care of themselves. They have to have some kind of savings and money. I have nothing against helping out parents that helped you out. But if they aren't saving up for their own retirement, then there's that risk that they're just going to use you. And that's the more common situation I see, whether people happen to be coming from a communist regime or not. I mean, I got to see a lot of people from East India. Well, you take care of your family. I'm your mother. Oh, fuck you. You spread your legs. That's it. You didn't wear a diaphragm. That's it. You're not a hero. So that's what I'm trying to cautious you against. It sounds like you're the more old school American immigrants came here, your parents built up, and so in that sense, I think you may owe them a little bit. But you can't have them relying on you 100%. They got to be working, they got to be contributing, and they got their fucking Social Security, whatever the Canadian equivalent is. You should be a role model to your younger brother and other descendants of your extended family. Fuck your extended family. Fuck that Asian culture bullshit. You're not in a competition with your fucking cousins, and you gotta whip out who's got the biggest, oldest male dick. My best friend deals with that still to this day, and he's in his fucking 50s. Knock that fucking shit off. This is not a competition between you and your 47 cousins. Just go be a fucking CPA and be happy with your life. And fuck if Jinsu, your eldest cousin, is an investment banker over in Toronto. Who gives a shit? Either way, I believe trying to get back a traditional family in the West just opens up more of a Pandora's weapons cache to be used against you. Well, yes, there's a huge risk in that. Men hold all the responsibility and authority over our loved ones, so going that route here is a no. I will say this. I got another Asian buddy. He's not even first generation, second. I think he's third. Like, his folks were here, and he has no accent, but Vietnamese descent. And it got so bad here, him dating American women. He's like, fuck, I'm done. And then he still had some close relatives in Vietnam, and they got him a nice traditional wife from Vietnam. That may be an option. If you still want to run a family here, that may be an option. There's always the risk they become Americanized, or in our case, North Americanized. But I wouldn't, if you want to have a family, kind of keep that option open. Your folks obviously have some connections back at home. And I think there's still some, even though you were raised North American, I think there's still a lot of culture that would still overlap and make it conducive for you to potentially, if you want to, you don't have to, get married at some point in time to someone from your original ethnicity and country. I have a few ideas in mind. I could either look at a day trading and unconventional investments like peer-to-peer lending or job. No. We don't do dude bro entrepreneurship. We do not do entrepreneurship here. You're not doing any of that. You're going to become a fucking CPA, and you're going to work hard, and you're going to make money, and you can work for one of the big four, or you could go work in corporate. I don't care what you're going to do. And you can open up your own CPA shop. You can open up your own tech. You're not doing drop shipping and, dude, bro, I want to flip houses with my hat on sideways. No. I could continue my education to pursue a CPA in the hopes I make six figures one day, and then starting my own tax prep consultancy business on the side. There you are. I could start to consider expanding the rental business. I predict that money from China going into real estate in the West will run out soon once the international students realize just how shitty post-education is in the West. That's not it. It's China. China has a huge trade surplus. Money's got to go somewhere, and they're all investing out of China. I mean, China, as booming as it is, it's not exactly the freest country ever. Plus, there's something about China. They all gotta be Western. Western, like, I was surprised to find, you know what the number, or maybe not the number one selling car, but the most popular sought after car in China is? It's a frickin' Buick. They love Western civilization. I don't get, maybe not Western civilization, but the materialism or some aspects of the culture. I can't wait to buy a property in Vancouver and get a Buick. It's like, a Buick? It's like the Germans. Mercedes? Really? It's a taxi cab. What? So don't think that money's going to dry up anytime soon. I mean, it could, but it would cause a fall in the price of real estate. However, as I have learned at times, it's almost like another job and barely passes a passive income source. All this would require me to quit my part-time job, and eventually, if all goes to shit, the only options left are to reskill. So, no, that's your folks. That's your folks stuff. Look, it's nice you're helping out with your folks, but inevitably you gotta go and do your own thing. I'm not even against you running your own little side entrepreneurship. You know, if it doesn't take any capital investment or something like that, and you can make money off of it, cool. But in the end, you're going to have to pass on the man. No, Dad, I'm not fixing the sink in Unit 23. No, Dad, I'm not. You got to do that. I have clients. I have to move on. All this will require me to quit my part-time job eventually, and if all goes to shit, the only options left are to reskill in something else or be a parasite on the system. Well, I think you'll be fine with your CPA. What are your ideas, Cappy? Should I just make travel plans and enjoy what the world has to offer because my fears are ultimately unfounded? Should I consider the military as an officer in financial admin, working my way up? Or do I need to get told to stop being an idealistic pussy? No, dude, you're not idealistic at all. These are very real. I can tell you were brought up poor. These are very anchored in reality. These aren't delusional dreams. Trying to have it all and accept opportunity costs and consequences exist. Yes, opportunity costs do exist. You are going to have to give up something. You could join the Canadian military. That'd make 5 of you, 5 whole soldiers. And then you could, United States, save our ass from the Russians or the Chinese or whoever's going to invade us. The Canadian military, nothing wrong with you joining it. You might be called to be dragged into another war we got into. Leave that one till later. Your CPA is the number one thing. Help out your folks if you want. But you say, look, Dad, Mom, I'm going to become a CPA. It's going to take a lot of studying. You guys are going to have to take care of this house on your own. You're going to have to take care of this real estate property on your own. Your brothers, that's good that you're going to be a role model to him. About the only thing, there's nothing wrong with the amount that you're working. But here's what I would do. I was the same way. I wanted to pay off my mortgage and da-da-da. And I'll work hard and I'll prove. Work hard to get your CPA certification because that will pay off. Don't necessarily work hard and slave away at your career or your job, all right? Unless they're paying you good money or at the Big Four or someone hires you to do their taxes and you got your own accounting gig on the side. So there's that. But you have every right to take 2 weeks off, take extended weekends, go and travel, all right? I know Reconnaissance Man was not written for Canada, but you got Banff, you got Jasper, you got Revelstoke. You got all the Canadian Rockies. They're beautiful. You got Vancouver. That entire, once you go from Calgary all the way to Pacific, you have some amazing, the most beautiful scenes I've ever, Lake Louise. Went to Hyder, Smithers. Go to Smithers. No one even knew. I said, you ever been to Smithers? No, can watch Smithers. I'm like, how can you know what that town is? It's awesome. You need to go and travel and have some fun. I'm not saying go around the world tour, but you go hop in your car, haul ass across Saskatchewan, say hi to the town that rhymes with fun, get your ass to Calgary, get into Banff, go hike, go canoe, go do whatever you want. You owe yourself that. Also, you're going to have a chat with your folks saying, I am not running this rental property business forever, and only the day is coming that I'm going to be a CPA professional. I'll help you out until then, but not. And then your part-time job, I don't know if you really need it. It's not going to hurt, but I think stepping up for yourself. I mean, what are you going to buy? What are you going to do with that extra money? I don't think you have any student loans. 50,000 a year. I got 20,000 liquid assets. Yeah, okay, you got over the hump. I won't worry about getting married right now. Certainly not until you get your CPA. You seem to be very wise and couth about the risks of getting married and children and the decline of Western civilization. I would maybe hold on to some connections back at home. Maybe your country will be freer than Canada is. And maybe one of these days you don't travel to Banff or Jasper, but maybe you travel to Poland or Hungary or Singapore or the Philippines or something like that. See if that's not a little bit more stable. And then if you are going to get married, consider maybe a bride from your home country. But yeah, you're doing good. You're trying to worry about things that take decades to solve. I mean, my next step is probably going to be going and getting a house in a much more stable country. It might be the Philippines. It might be Poland. It might be Poland's cold. I don't want to go to Poland. But that's not something that's done tomorrow. And I'm probably twice your age or close to it. So you got a lot of time for this stuff to figure out. But while you're young and while you have that money, it's too late now in the season. It's cold up there already. You're already getting snow. But definitely next summer, I would be traveling. You know what? You got cheap-ass flights down to Vegas, man, or Phoenix. A lot of Canadians come down here. Holy cow, there's Canadians all over the place. Get yourself a cheap-ass flight down to Vegas and then Phoenix. Just check out the American Southwest a little bit while you're doing it. But otherwise, yes, there are opportunity costs. But I think if you prioritize your CPA first, traveling, not because I want to travel, but read Reconnaissance Man if you haven't, to figure out exactly what it is you want to do. And then with the rest of your free time off, what you're going to have, you can still help out your folks if you want to, but you can't be doing that part-time job and your CPA. It's just not going to be happening. You can't do the part-time or the CPA, helping out your folks, working your part-time job, and be in the military. All 6 of you that happen to compose the entire Canadian military. Love picking on Canada. But you're doing fine. Just relax, but you do need to have more fun. You do. Because what'll suck is you get hit by a truck at 30, you'll be on your death. But why did I go to BAM for Jasper? And it won't matter if you're playing with domestic boobies or foreign boobies. All right, that's it. See you guys later. Toodles.